Hello, or welcome. So this video is all about my experience with scams in Morocco. So overall it was an amazing experience. Absolutely loved Morocco, loved the people, loved the scenery, loved the culture, loved the food. Controversial one because I think tagines can get a little bit boring, but I love them, especially the olives. But yes, this video is about my experience with the scams. I did get scammed. I'm ashamed to say it, but I did. Nothing drastic, but I guess it could have been worse, and it's good to know about these things before you go travelling to a certain country and just be aware of potential risks. So hopefully this video will help if you're thinking of going to Morocco, or if you know anyone who's going to Morocco. So yes, enjoy. We spent about 3 days in Rabat, and Rabat was absolutely fine. I guess a lot of people aren't aware that Rabat is actually the capital of Morocco. I think a lot of people think, and myself included, before I went, I thought that Marrakech was the capital because I think this is where more tourists go when they go to Morocco. So yeah, Rabat was fine. So we got a 4-hour train journey to Marrakech, and if you're looking into going to Morocco, you'll probably read about the markets. What Morocco is very famous for are the souks, markets, where they sell so many things. Lots of traditional Moroccan things, clothes, ornaments. Anyway, these markets are very big and quite confusing to get around. Pretty much a lot of the shops look the same. So when you're going through these markets, there are lots of locals going around, obviously, lots of locals selling things, and what we realised is that a lot of locals go up to tourists and they tell them where to go. So they try to direct them to certain places. They'll say, oh, the main market square is that way. Oh, look, I'll take you. And they try to lead you down certain pathways. And we're not really sure why they try to do this and what they're leading us to. However, we did read after this happened to us that apparently they tried to take you down pathways and then potentially mug you or take you to really expensive stalls, and I guess other ways of ripping you off. And they pose themselves as friendly locals. So if you're looking lost, like a lot of tourists do, I guess, you look like you don't know where you're going, they'll try to, target you. So this did happen to us in Marrakech approximately, I think, 3 times. We had 3 different guys come up to us, and in one scenario, it was 2 guys who apparently didn't know each other, and it looked as though they were working with each other. One of them said, oh no, you're going the wrong way. All the tourists that way, that's where the main market is. And then another local also agreed with him and said, yeah, you're supposed to be going that way, when actually they had no idea where we were going to, if we even wanted to go to the touristy area. And then one of them said, like, right, come on, I'll lead you down here, and took us in a certain direction. And he walked in front of us and was kind of going like this to us, like, come on, trying to lead us on. We then made the decision to actually turn around and go the opposite way to what he said. And he was making a lot of small talk, like, oh, where are you from? Oh, you look Moroccan, to me, because a lot of people thought I looked Moroccan. And yeah, you just have to be very careful, because a lot of them, maybe they do have friendly intentions, but you just don't know where they're leading you to. And if you don't know the place or where you're going, then just go in a different direction and go where a lot of the tourists are going and don't follow them. So another one, when we were in Marrakech, we went to the Jemma El Fna, I want to say, Jemma El Fna. This is the main market square in Marrakech where a lot of the tourists are. There are so many stalls, it's basically a huge square. There are horses and carriages, tour guides, lots of locals with animals like monkeys and snakes and birds. Anyway, there are lots of henna artists, and these henna artists will be sat on just stools in the middle of the square. You'll see that they approach a lot of tourists, just females usually, and they'll have their books with all the henna designs. I was walking past and one of them came up to me and basically pulled my hand and in a way forced me to sit down on one of these stools. She got out this book of all the different henna designs and started showing them to me. And on this book there were no prices at all. So I said to her, oh, I quite like this one. How much does it cost? And one of the women said to me, so there were about 5 henna artists all together, and one of them said to me, oh, just pay what you want at the end, just pay what you want. She kept saying that over and over again, and I said, oh, I'd prefer to have a price. I just want to know if I've got enough. She said, oh, no, 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 it's okay, it's okay. And she assured me that I can pay what I want to pay. So at this point, the immediate red flag, alarm bells were going in my head, like, oh, actually, maybe this isn't a good idea. But at this point, she had already started the henna on my finger and had completed most of my middle finger at this point. I thought, okay, it's too late, I'll just go with it. She said, pay what you want at the end. Approximately, I guess, 1 minute passes and she's finished the henna design. It looks really good. And then all of a sudden, one of the other henna artists gets out the same book that I thought I looked at the beginning. So it was all the same henna patterns. However, this book had prices on it now. And she pointed to the henna design that I had, and with the price at the top that wasn't there before, it said 900 Moroccan dirhams, which is about, it's about £70. So probably about $65. And if anyone's ever had henna tattoos before, you'll know that this is super expensive for what it is and completely a rip-off. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, Bria, what have you got yourself into? This is not good. And I was sat down on this stool. All these henna women were stood up above me. There was approximately 5 of them. I said to them, that's too expensive. You said to me I can pay what I want at the end. I cannot pay 900 dirhams. And then they said to me, okay, it's fine. We'll do a deal for you. 700, which is still a ridiculous amount of money. So at this point I thought to myself, oh gosh, it went on and on. I was saying that I didn't want to pay that, and they asked me, oh, how much do you want to pay? And I said, the most I'm going to pay is 50 Moroccan dirhams, which is still a really good price for what it is. This is basically just powder and water mixed together, and then it takes 1 minute to do a design on your hand. For anyone who's had a henna tattoo before, you'll know that it lasts about 1 day, 2 days, and then it starts to all fade off and look pretty awful. So anyway, after a while, they were getting quite angry and quite aggressive, and they started really coming up close to me and saying that, oh, I'm being really unfair, and this is a fair price that they're offering me. So eventually I hand them a 100 note, because that's all I had. I didn't have anything smaller, and they took it, but they weren't happy. They were saying to me that I was being unfair and that I wasn't a very nice person. So yeah, I guess the learning from that is just agree a price beforehand if you do want henna. I think if you want henna, try to avoid the women in the main square in Marrakech, because I do not know how many people they must get doing that, or how many people they must scam doing that. They know that's a ridiculous price, and henna is just not worth that at all. So just be careful. Okay, so the other one is fake money. So again, in Marrakech, we went to lunch in a restaurant which was in the main market square, the Medina, and had our pancakes, had whatever it is we had, I think scrambled eggs on toast or something not very traditional. We paid for our meal and then got our change, and we realised that actually one of the notes they gave us was a fake note. So it was different size to the rest of our notes, and it just looked different and felt different. And at this point we were doubting ourselves, just because we didn't really know if this was potentially just an old note, but we just had that feeling that actually this doesn't feel right, and this is quite a lot of money that we received back. In that case, we did say to the cafe owner, actually, we think we would like to replace this with a different note if possible, because it just doesn't feel right to us. And we explained to them that we think it might be maybe a false note that we've been given, or that they've received by accident. We didn't accuse them, but we just made them understand the situation. And they were fine about it. They replaced it with other smaller notes, which felt fine. They all felt real. But it's just, yeah, something to be aware of. We don't know if it was intentional or if it was a mistake from them. So it could have just been an innocent mistake that they gave us by accident, but it's just something to be aware of. So overall, I would recommend Morocco to go to. It's a super place. The people are so friendly. Not everyone is out to get you. The people are actually very nice and genuinely do care about one another. I would recommend Rabat if you want a calmer, more traditional experience, whereas Marrakech is quite fun for all the busyness of the markets and getting some good bargains. But also there are some lovely mountains on the outskirts of Morocco and Marrakech that I really recommend going to see. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful anyway for anyone thinking of going to Morocco. Please do like the video if you found it helpful. Please subscribe as there are more videos coming, and yeah, thanks. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. No, I hate that saying. Too many YouTubers say that.
Like, something might seem just straight on, but in a...
My face is so oily. Oh no.